as mentioned in my last video about entrances in the MonsterVerse, today we're going to be going over some Godzilla designs and giving them a rating of 1 through 10. We will be rating them purely based off of my own personal preference, and we will be using the suit names and designs that accompany each version of Godzilla, I should say. A big shout out to BecomingGodzilla.com for the extensive work they did documenting the suit names and the design process of the suits. They did an amazing job detailing everything, and it helped a lot during this. First suit, we're going to start off with Shodai Goji, the 1954 original suit, the classic. This is the first suit ever designed for Godzilla. Fun fact, director Ishiro Honda didn't let anyone who didn't have to see the suit see it because he was afraid people would laugh at it. So Shodai, this is the Godzilla design, the foundation, and honestly, I love the way it looks. The face has this look of an ancient dragon that gives him this look of a maniacal rage. I also love his little ears that are on the side of his head, feeding the look of monster as opposed to just reptile. Chef's kiss. Without a whole lot to really critique on this suit, it gets a solid 8.5 out of 10. Up next is the Gyakushu Goji, 1955. This is the sequel suit. It's from Godzilla Raids Again, or if you saw this movie in America as a kid, maybe you know it as Gigantus the Fire Monster. This suit is pretty much the same as the original. However, it features moving eyes and a more slender build so that the actor could be flexible enough to fight Anguirus. The dorsal plates look the same as the Shodai suit, but it's got this long skinny neck that kind of makes him less mushroom cloud shaped in the head and more like a Q-tip. Again, while similar designs, I still think the original is much better than this. I think I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. King Goji, 1962. This is a suit that a lot of people are really going to know. It's really loved among people that watch Godzilla movies. This is the King Kong versus Godzilla suit. You guys seen that meme of King Kong shoving a tree down Godzilla's throat? That's this suit. They did away with his ears and the big teeth in the front that the first two suits had. Instead, they gave him more of a straight-up lizard appearance. The eyes are less focused and the head is smooth. Personally, I like that they kept his defined brows. I like it when the area of his face has a defining shape. I think it makes him more personality given, personality. That's not a word. I think it makes him look like he has more personality. I give this suit a 7 out of 10. Next suit we have is the Mosu Goji, 1964. This is by far one of my favorite suits of the Showa era proper. I just love how scrungly his face looks. His snout goes from a longer shape to more of like a snub nose. He's got a meaner look in his eyes that's helped by some very thick eyebrows. Not to mention his jaw actually moves for the first half of the movie until the mechanism smacks against a building and it breaks the jaw, leaving it kind of hanging open for the rest of the film. But I love the texture for the skin, and though King Goji returns to a chunkier Godzilla, I think the thinness of this suit actually works in its favor. Whenever I think Showa Godzilla, this is one of the suits that I typically think of that comes straight to mind. This suit gets an 8.5 out of 10 for me. And after that, we're going to be covering the Sendai Kaiju 1964. This is the Ghidorah the three-headed monster suit. The one where Godzilla starts to make his turn towards being a superhero. Honestly, aside from the face structure, there isn't a whole lot of difference here from the last suit. Not a whole lot to talk about. I give it a 7 out of 10. Now, the Dai Senso Goji suit, 1965 to 1966. This is the kind of design I am not a fan of. They lean too far into the reptile / amphibian pool for inspiration, giving Godzilla a large, rounded, frog-like mouth. All in all, still a pretty strong suit, even if it's on the lower end of the spectrum. I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Masuko Goji, or Musuko Goji, 1967. By far, one of the absolute worst Godzilla designs. The oversized mouth, the squashed head, and the very crudely done dorsal plates. This design is just not very good. I'm not a fan of it. I'm going to have to, really unfortunately, give it a 2 out of 10. Up next, we have the Toshingeki Goji, 1968 to 1972. You might remember this one from Godzilla vs. Hedorah or a few of the other Godzilla movies, because this suit was in 4 movies in a row. It's got a nice look to it. Godzilla has a longer neck and a rounder head with some super mangled looking teeth. They really do a lot to this suit, especially in Godzilla vs. Hedorah. They seemingly tear it up to give Godzilla battle damage. They bring back the heavily pronounced brow, which I feel really helps a lot with the overall shape of the face and keeps it from looking too goofy. Though, toward the end of its run, it gets a lot of wear and tear, unfortunately. I'm thinking this one is going to get a 7 out of 10. Because it's by far not one of the worst suits. It's iconic, people love it, I love it. It's a good suit. So, 7 out of 10. Up next, we have the Meguro Goji suit. This is the suit that made a debut in Godzilla vs. Megalon and went all the way to Godzilla Terror of Mechagodzilla. Now, this suit has a lot of nostalgia for me. I hadn't seen any suited Godzilla films before this. However, I had seen the 1998 TriStar Godzilla. And honestly, I thought that was a cool movie because my grandpa thought it was a cool movie. And that one still gets a slide. I think it gets too much hate. It's a good movie, not a great Godzilla movie. It is what it is. But this was the first ever man in a suit Godzilla design I was exposed to. And honestly, I fucking love this one. Pardon my French. The film I saw this in first was Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. And oddly enough, aside from the original, this one comes the closest to having a mushroom cloud shaped head out of any of the previous designs. And the lowered eyebrow gives him a more angry, determined look, and he looks more focused and weirdly emotive. I don't know, it's a really good suit. Oh man, I love it so much. But it's not my overall super favorite design for Godzilla. However, I will say it is my favorite of the Showa era. It is the most iconic to me as the Showa era Godzilla, and I will always love it for that. This suit gets a solid 8 out of 10. I love it. Now, I wanted to do all of the Godzilla suits in this video, but I realized it's running a bit long, and I forgot just how many suits there were. So instead of bogging this video down with all of the Heisei suits, I'm going to be doing those in their own separate video. And I will also be doing the Millennium suits. So this video is going to get a part 2. It'll be coming out on time, I promise. And I will hopefully see you guys next week. I'm sorry this video took so long to drop out. But tell me, what do you guys think? Do you agree with my rankings? Do you disagree? Do you think I'm stupid? Let me know what you rank each of the suits below, and we can discuss your favorite design. In any case, Busters, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!